That you never make it, hopeless so. And yo, the lies so that you never make it, hopeless so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never this way. Me indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lion Villain Report. I am your host, Russell Wayne, right here, and we are broadcasting live into our Facebook page with 53,000 villains right there. Thank you very much for following and supporting the Lion Villain Squad Facebook page as we are broadcasting live right there. So please follow the page and appreciate some of that awesome artwork by Stephen Michael McMania, brother, right there. I know I'm saying his name wrong, but it sounds like he got, I'm Russell Mania and he's Stephen Michael McMania, brother. And we're live inside of our YouTube channel right there. Please subscribe, just like Pete the Unaliver right here. He says, hey, I took care of that thing for you. So if you take care of that thing for me, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the like button. This is football content. We do this 365 days a year on our Facebook page. And join the conversation. Join the conversation. We're talking Lions football. We're talking NFC North football. We love talking football right here. We're broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions News Podcast. Thank you to Joe Chapp and the boys for making that part possible and allowing us into that network of 77,000 Detroit Lion fans in there. Guilty by association. That's how. If you want to sponsor this show, hit up Mike in the messenger, and Mike will hook you up with the pricings of being guilty by association. All right. And then we do have main event Mike, and you can even see it better down there at the bottom while I'm introducing this right there. Affiliate marketing partners with NFL Shop. You can use that QR code right there to use the villain code. And when you use that, then you are supporting the page, and we appreciate that. And it might even be able to get you a little bit of a discount too from using that QR code. But welcome to the program, Mike. How are you doing this morning?
Good, Russ. Sorry I'm late. I've been all morning scratching my head trying to figure out how we lost this game.
Right on. So, I mean, it's time for us to take the villain to take our medicine. We got to listen to the haters today, because here's the thing is that's what we do. We come on here and we beat our chests a little bit when we win. I'm not going to hide behind that. Our team's awesome. But when we come on here after a loss, we do take our medicine. So if you're one of the rival fans out there, you're a Viking fan, you're a Bear fan or a Packer fan, we take it. We take it. We show up when our team loses. So it'd be interesting to see if there is going to be any Packer fans in the comments trolling us today, because they were missing in action last week after their team lost. They went into witness protection, but we're not going into witness protection. That's not what the villain does, Mike. We show up. We take our medicine, man. Give us the medicine, Mike. Give us the medicine.
I don't know, bro. I haven't been able to put my finger on it. I mean, Broski says the reason is because Goff throws the ball directly to the other team and because your secondary is garbage. So, I mean, that's a pretty tough take for Broski. But I can't say that it's so confusing. Being at the game and watching the game on TV, it's just two different perspectives. And being at the game, I wasn't able to break it down. That's why this morning I've been looking at the replays over and over, trying to figure out, looking at the stats. The stats are mind-blowing. I'm gonna go over some of the box score for you now. Is that okay?
That's what I was trying to set you up for. Tell me why I'm feeling the way that I am.
Right.
The tail of the tape. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Tail
Goff,
of the tape.
55 pass attempts. 34 completions. That's not good, folks. It's not real good. 307 yards, no TDs, 2 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 61.7. On the flip side of that, it's not like Baker Mayfield was the second coming of Tom Brady. He only went 12 of 19. He only threw 19 passes for 185 yards. He had an INT and a TD and a passer rating of 90. Woo, whoopee-doo. So what was it? Well, it wasn't their quarterback running all over us, so it must have been their rushing, right? They must have ran all over us. No, Rachaad White only had 18 yards rushing on 10 carries. The Lions shut him down. Bucky Irving, the rookie running back, 22 yards on 7 carries. They held the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to only 216 yards of total offense. Okay, so it must have been the defense. Like Tampa's defense must have just dominated this game. No, the Lions had 5 sacks. The Buccaneers had 0 sacks. Jared Goff threw for 307 yards. The rushing yards, we rushed for well over 100 yards. We held them to well under 100 yards. I mean, we just dominated every single statistical category. In the red zone, the Buccaneers were 1 for 2. The Lions were 1 for 7. Now it starts to surface. 1 for 7 in the red zone, Dan Campbell. That's an issue. Third down efficiency. The Buccaneers were only 2 for 10. Our defense dominated them. The Lions, 7 for 17. Not bad. Still a dominating performance by the Detroit Lions. On fourth down, the Detroit Lions were 3 out of 5. Not bad. Considering the NFL average, that's pretty good. Every phase of the game between the 20-yard lines, the Lions dominated this game. And it comes to something intangible, something that you can't put your finger on. Things like momentum, where we don't blame the referees around here, but there were some momentum-killing penalties. Some were justified, some were not. But momentum, something you can't put your finger on. Also, play calling, the flow of the game. Even Dan Campbell alluded to it in his post-game press conference. We seemed off. We couldn't get in a rhythm, unquote. Those are quotes from Dan Campbell. We couldn't get it. That's something you can't put your finger on. When you look at the box score and you look at the stats, the Lions were the best team on the field. They dominated. They just came out with a loss. So I've never seen Jared Goff skip so many balls into the ground. So I can't argue with Broski Bear when he says Goff just threw it to the other team. I mean, he only had 2 interceptions, but there were 2 that were dropped by Tampa Bay. He could have easily had 4 interceptions. So I can't discount Broski Bear's comments as much as they're hard to swallow. We got to take our medicine, like you say, Russ.
We got to take the medicine. We got to take the medicine. You know, I mean, I'm with you. When I looked at, we were there at the game, and it's like, did they dominate our defense? You know, when you say that we have no secondary, I don't mind taking some browbeating right here, but I'd like it to be factual, at least a little bit right there. When you got one receiver, really Godwin, outside of his one long catch, I mean, I'm looking at these stats right here. I mean, what was that, a 60-yard bomb? What was that, Godwin?
No, it wasn't a bomb. No, it was a nice jute and run up the sideline. He beat Meek Robertson beat him cold, and just, took it down the side.
Right, so there's 70 yards of his stats, right? He had 117 yards total. Mike Evans was 3 catches for 42 yards. McMillan, 1 catch. Rashad White, 1 catch. Nothing else. So if you're trashing my secondary, okay, but I don't think that that's really justified. I thought the secondary played pretty damn good. I know that Terrion Arnold needs to learn how to use his hands when it comes to, taking penalties down the field and everything like that. But I'm going to take the medicine, but I'm going to take it on the side of the ball that I don't like to. I wore a Frank Ragnow jersey, Mike. I wore a Frank Ragnow jersey because I believe that this offensive line is the best offensive line in the NFL. So if I'm going to take my medicine, I'm going to say the best players on this team are the ones that fell short, if anything. The offensive linemen, we should be bullying people up front. So all of these, Jared Goff did have a bad game, but he had defenders in his face all day long. Where's the offensive line that's supposed to be protecting Jared Goff? And every time that you looked over at me during the game and said, man, they need to run the ball, they run the ball twice for a 0-yard gain. Stuff. So they did have some success running the ball. But here's the thing. You got into a hard-fought game. And, if you want to overreact to the loss, that's okay too. I understand that. I'm a Lion fan. I've been there. But you had a chance to win the game twice at the end of the game. It's not like somebody just ran away with this game and then you can point at a whole bunch of stuff in the game that, oh my God, what are we going to do about this? No, I mean, you had chances to win the game and you could have put them away. I mean, 2 touchdowns instead of field goals in the red zone. We say 1 for 7 in the red zone. I mean, come on, guys, score some touchdowns and you win this game. There's team last year. I mean, imagine this team last year having a defense that could hold a team to 20 freaking points. Holy crap. Man, we would have won the Super Bowl hands down last year if the defense was half as good as it is right now, with the offense humming like it was last year. So I think that we're on the preface of something right here. I mean, I think that the defense is going to turn a corner. I don't see what Broski sees, like this defense that's just got Swiss cheese in it. I see a really good team that's stout against the run that gave this offense every chance in the world to win that game yesterday.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And Broski fired back at me, says Lions defense didn't dominate the Bucs. What game were you watching? Broski, the game I was watching was the one where we held their offense to 216 total yards. Total. In the whole game. That's a defensive domination. By the way, the defense that led the league last year allowed 18 points per game. That was the leading defense. 18 points a game. We've allowed 20 points in back-to-back games. That's a significant defensive improvement. And yes, they had a couple of good plays. There were a few plays. I thought every time AG went into a zone, Baker was able to find a soft spot in the zone and get the ball to Godwin. Chris Godwin lit it up, 7 catches for 117 yards and a touchdown, much similar to Cooper Kupp's stat line last year. So to Broski's point, there are some problems here with the secondary still not gelling. Is that you making that flip go like that?
I'm
or
not
is it
doing it?
I'm not doing that either. I don't know what's going on there.
No, I was trying to get Broski's comment out of there. And because I don't here's something that we really need to get. Whoa. They're not letting me, they're messing me up here.
Yeah, there's something weird going on. There's a ghost in the machine.
Yeah, hold take it over. Let me come back in.
Yeah, so anyway, to Russell's point, running the ball, David Montgomery, 13 carries, 84 yards. Excuse me, that's Jahmyr Gibbs, 13 carries, 84 yards. That's a 6.5 yard average, folks. David Montgomery, 11 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown for a 3.2 yard average. You can't, it's the things that you can't put your finger on, right? You can't look in the box score and see what it was. It seemed to me, and I commented throughout the game to Russ, I said, it seems like Tampa knows everything we're going to do. And when there was all this chatter coming out earlier in the week about Carlton Davis telling us about their receivers, ooh, maybe we got some inside information. It appeared that the Buccaneers were the ones with inside information. If the play was running right, even though we flowed left, that counter, we would run right to counter left. That works for us usually. It didn't work yesterday. The Bucs knew where the play was going, it seemed like. Maybe we can chalk this up to, this is the third time these teams have played in 8 months. It's very hard in the NFL to beat a team twice. It's really hard to beat them 3 times. Maybe they just saw us enough. Maybe the Lions aren't sneaking up on anyone anymore. Everybody knows that this is a good team. They know what to expect. This team especially faced us twice last year, and they seem to have the answer. So much so that they could only produce 216 yards of offense and still win the game, not sack the quarterback 1 time. It seemed they were taking away the middle of the field. That's something they probably got from the Rams in week 1. They took away the middle of the field for Jared Goff and made him make bad throws, made him try to put the ball where only his guys could catch it, and then ends up skipping across the ground. When he threw it to the outside, every quarterback has a weakness. They know Jared Goff's weakness is throwing to the sidelines. So they forced him to do that, forced him out of his comfort zone. But when you look at the stats, the Lions dominated this game. That's the game I was watching, Broski. And thanks so much for the comments.
And I have to give Broski a little bit of crap right here for this. I don't know. Are you doing that? No,
I'm not doing that, brother. Maybe it's because my notebook is on the keypad. How about now?
No, it's still popping on. I don't know.
Broski, did you hack us? Have we been hacked?
Yeah, but I wanted to bring something up to Broski right here. And the thing is like we messed this up. We messed this up today, Mike, because we allowed Broski into the chat first. And here's the thing is the winners get to sit alone at the top.
You're right.
Talk all the trash right here.
That's
Broski, what are you doing in our DM right now talking about a loss? Look at this. You get to come in. You can talk some trash, but you got to win a game. We're in here taking our medicine. Where's your medicine at, Broski? The only team right here, we messed up. Sarah, dun, 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 dun. Your flowers are here. Your flowers are here. Let's talk about this game right here a little bit. The one that actually gets to give us the medicine, Mike.
Yeah, Minnesota Vikings leading the NFC North now at 2-0. They had an easy one against the Giants, maybe, and everybody said, "Oh, it was just the Giants." So what? Minnesota won. It was just the Giants. Well, now they beat the Niners. Now what are you going to say, right? Ty Chandler may have had his coming out game yesterday. Who had Ty Chandler on their fantasy team? Holy cow! Minnesota Vikings 2-0. Sam Darnold 2-0 as a Viking. And if I'm a Viking fan, I got to be feeling really, really good right now. You do have Stephon Gilmore. He showed up big yesterday as well. No, now the detractors are going to say, well, there was no Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey didn't play. Well, you know what? Jordan Mason had 147 yards rushing last week. So he's definitely capable. So Minnesota shut it down. They held serve at home. Got to give them kudos. They're 2-0.
Yep. They're 2-0. And there they are, sitting alone at the top of the NFC North, where, you know what, I'm definitely not going to go to any like bear chats or anything and start running my mouth when it comes to how bad the Lions are or any other team after a loss like that for them. And I'm going to sit here and take my medicine for the Lions. And you and I are looking at this game in a way. And if you just want to just say, where are all of our players? Hutchinson's our only guy. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, the defense gave 20 points up. And Mike already went through the tail of the tape. He's already proven what you're saying is wrong. I can say that the Goff thing is a concern. You know, he didn't play a very good game yesterday. Actually, the offense in general, and I put more of it on the offensive line than I do Goff. Goff gets forced into mistakes, right? When the offensive line isn't protecting him, it's not fun to look at. He doesn't do well when he's pressured like that. He had pressure right up the middle. They were stuffing the run. So I don't know. But the Minnesota Vikings are at the top right here. And what about these Green Bay Packers right here? They go to 1-1 with Malik Willis.
Mm-hmm. Malik Willis was efficient, but Josh Jacobs went off. And they ran the ball for an astounding, I don't have it right in front of me, but I believe it's 263 yards. Josh Jacobs had over 150 yards himself. They just ran the ball like crazy against Indy. And I mean, maybe they exposed the Indy defense for the rest of us because the NFC North has to play this team. The Indianapolis Colts has to play every member of the NFC North this year. And the Packers showed us that they can run on it. But how fortunate for the Packers to start Malik Willis at quarterback and come out with a W. So many people, good for you, Russ, that you changed this as your lock pick. You had Indy as your lock pick, but you changed it in the last minute. Maybe they exposed the Indianapolis Colts for the rest of this division, showing that you can really run on this team because they got the running game going and they played good defense and held Indianapolis to just 10 points. I'm not sold on Anthony Richardson. Jonathan Taylor did have over 100 yards rushing, so Green Bay can be rushed on as well.
Yeah, so there's the victory, and then the Bears lost. Did you watch the game last night with these guys?
I did not.
I watched the whole game, and I see a Bear team that is pretty good on defense, but they're not indestructible on defense. Really good quarterback play out of C.J. Stroud. This guy's the real deal. And they touted this thing like it was Patrick Mahomes, like two big quarterbacks, but CJ Stroud just completely outshined Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams didn't look all that good. I mean, Collinsworth was trying to marginalize, when he can get rid of the ball. He was 12 for 14, but on these other passes. But here's the thing. He was throwing these little zippy passes out there, these little dink and dunk passes out there, and he completed those passes. But anytime he was asked to do anything to make a big play, the defense was making a play on him. He used to be able to run around in college, right? He used to be the best athlete on the field in college, and he could just do that. You can't do that in the NFL, Caleb Williams. You aren't the most athletic guy on the field anymore. You are going to have to read defenses, stay in the pocket, and be able to run the offense. And right now, he doesn't look like he can do that. And last week, he really got saved by the defense and Will Levis being really dumb quarterback and throwing the ball to the defense. And here's this Chicago team that was going to go 15-2 sitting there, not looking very good on offense. But, the Lions can't really say anything better. The defense is the best part of the Lions in what they got going on right now. And it's the offense that, I'm not going to say I'm concerned, but I want to ask you guys out there. what is your panic level here as a Lion fan? What is your panic level on a scale of 1 to 11? You know, we go to 11 here. It's our scales go to 11 because it takes more. But what is your panic level with the Lions right now?
I love the scar. Is that
You like
Uncle,
that?
Uncle
You like
Scar?
that?
Nice. I come from the shallow end of the gene pool. Love it.
But what's your panic level? I mean, this is a
No panic.
loss.
It's an 18-game schedule. The Lions didn't have any preseason snaps with their starters. I think it's just some rust. Yeah, Ben Johnson's going to get it together. His play calling was not creative in the run game. And for some reason, to those things that I alluded to, like Tampa Bay seemed to be able to recognize everything we do. And they'll notice that. They'll clean that up. They'll see that in the film room. They'll be able to put their finger point. There's too much talent on this roster. I do think that coaching blunders is something that is concerning. So my panic level isn't any more heightened than it was after we blew a 17-point lead in the NFC title game. I still have those same panic concerns after watching yesterday's game and watching Dan Campbell commit a couple of blunders that ultimately probably cost us this game. Dan Campbell even said himself in his post-game presser, "This one's on me." Their coach cost them this game. Those were his exact words. So that gives me reason to panic. But as far as just losing game 2 to a team that won their division 3 years in a row and were in the playoffs last year, no, I'm not panicked. It's hard to win in the NFL. It's really, really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
It
which
is.
We're going to see on Monday night against the Seattle Seahawks, how hard it will be to beat a team 4 times in a row. No, I'm not panicking at all. If anything causes it, I mean, in fact, you know what? I have less panic over us losing to the Bucs. I have more panic over the Arizona Cardinals beating the crap out of the Rams. That gives me more panic. Because going 1-1 is fine. Starting out 1-2, tough. You and I pointed to it, Russ, at the beginning of the season that the first 4 games of the season, then the bye, then Dallas, that was the toughest stretch of the entire schedule for the Lions. So if we could come out of that stretch 3-1, we'd be in great shape. That's what we speculated, postulated, and I'll tell you, we still have a chance to go 3-1. If we come out of that 4-game stretch into the bye at 1-4, ask me again about my panic level.
Yeah, I would say my panic level's pretty low right now, but I mean, to Broski's point, the Arizona Cardinals did just smack around the Rams, and we're going out there next week. So, I mean, to go 1-2, I'm way more panicked than looking at the whole season, right? Like, it is a long season, and I wouldn't even, jump off the ledge going 1-2 against a good, in that way. But as far as the whole season goes, man, like I said, the biggest concern that you would have, it would be on the offensive line, that they're not dominating out there. They're not playing very well, which is leading to bad offensive line or bad offense overall together.
I can't agree with that point. When they're Jahmyr Gibbs averaged 6.5 yards average per carry. They gave up 0 sacks. And the running backs are gaining 6 yards a carry. How is the offensive line failing in any way?
They were giving up pressure. I mean, were you watching the game with me? They were
0
giving
sacks,
pressure up the middle almost every single time that Goff threw the ball. They were coming right up the middle. I bet you when we look at Frank Ragnow's PFF scores tomorrow, it's not going to be good. I don't think that we're going to see all of these 80s and 90s scores that were. I mean, here's the thing, Mike. If this team on the offensive line plays average, it's bad. Okay? We need these guys to be 80s and 90s in every game. That's what you're paying for. That's what you need them to be. They need to be at least above average, so everybody else around them can be better.
I apparently we must be watching a different game according to the people in the chat as well. Jared Goff had time all day to throw the ball. They were just taking his the way. There were so many dropped passes. There were passes that were skipped into the ground. He had some pressure. It's an NFL game, but he didn't get sacked at all. There was pressure coming, sure. He was holding the ball plenty long, though. If you look at the time that he held the ball, it would have been longer than the league average, I would wager.
Yeah, and it's like in Jahmyr Gibbs and his 6.5 average, that was like one play that he broke out and ran for like 35 yards on the one play. Outside of that, they were getting stuffed. They were getting stuffed on the run. It wasn't like they were running and he was gashing these guys for big plays and then he was going back to the pass. They were stuffing us on 1 and 2. But regardless of how it happened, they got into a hard-nosed fought game where they didn't, in between the 20s, they're doing just fine. They're moving the ball. And then they can't get it done in the red zone. And you know what? Dan Campbell when you look at the unforced errors, and one of Jared Goff's interceptions was because the guy was being held on the break. The ball was thrown right to the spot where the break would have been, and it would have been a catch and not a throw right to the safety. So when you look at that stuff. So this was a hard-fought game all the way through. Good defense on both sides. And when Dan Campbell puts the blame on himself, that was the only unforced error in the game. When you look at something that like, oh, shoot, we put too many men on it. Oh, we made a miscommunication. It cost us 3 points. How big is that 3 points at the end of the game when you're driving down, you can't get touchdowns? They have that 3 points at the end of the half. You're going down in overtime. You're kicking a field goal to win this game. And you're not needing a touchdown. So when he says that his unforced error cost them the game, I know that you can go through a whole half and a whole bunch of different stuff can happen if they did get 3 points in that. But that's not the point. He's taking accountability because sometimes you get into a fight where, you get punched back. And Tampa Bay is a team that's going to punch back. And you got to be able to get into a fight. We drugged the Rams into the deep waters. And we did that thing. We drugged the Bucs into a deep waters, and they drowned us. It went to the deep waters. There was no blowout in this game. There was no domination in this game. And to your point earlier, Mike, we had chances to put the game away. Like we could have been up by 2-3 scores because we were moving the ball.
We had a chance to win the game right to the last second. We were going to win that game. We had 40 seconds from the 13-yard line. We could. I mean, the play calling.
You just watch the highlights.
You get a first and 10. You get a first and 10, and they come out with a 4-yard loss on first down. Then you come back, you get 5 back or whatever it was. On the final play of the game, they didn't even throw for the first down marker. They didn't even throw for the 3-yard line. They threw well short, and he skipped it into the ground. Just a head scratcher. It was the offense, broski. It was the offense, all of you folks in the chat. That defense held the team to 20 points, 216 yards. The defense did their job. They sacked the quarterback 5 times. They did their job. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield, Rashad White. 216 yards of total offense. Baker Mayfield looked like Randall Cunningham scrambling the ball for a touchdown. I mean, running quarterbacks continue to give this team trouble, but still 20 points. When you look at improvement year over year from last year and the year before, this defense has steadily gotten better. I thought that AG on his play calling as well, he would go press man, we'd do well. When he would drop into coverage, Baker would find the guy. You've got to know when to hold him, when to fold him. It's a chess match between the coordinators, and I feel like we got outcoached. We got outcoached on both sides of the ball. That's a concern for me. That's panic for me. Dan Campbell's learning. I love him. Don't get me wrong. There's no other coach I'd rather have. No other coach. We would not have made it to the NFC title game last year had it not been for Dan Campbell. But I will stand on it that Dan Campbell cost us that game.
Well, I mean, he would stand on it. I mean, the guy went on the podium and said that he cost the game.
I'm talking about the NFC title game. I think Dan Campbell cost us that game. It's
Well,
an unpopular opinion with Lions fans, but I'm going to stand on it.
That's fine. That's fine. The thing is, with overreaction Monday and overreaction to ideas, that's what happens. Is every time the Lions lose, every loss over the last 3 years comes into play right here, and look at all the stuff that they did when they lost. So yeah, you know what's going to look bad is your team when you lose, because a whole bunch of bad shit happened in that game. And you lost. So, overreaction Monday. Here we are. Let's see where everybody else is at on their panic level 2. No panic. Nope. Mark's in the middle. He's in the middle. Henry Gray says that he's -1. Sarah says that we're playing with house money, so whatever happens, happens. That's such a good position to be in, Sarah. And kudos to your team. We'll give you your flowers. The Minnesota Vikings are really, if Sarah wanted to come in here and talk trash about our defense, I would say that she would be more invited to do it. And I wouldn't say Packer fan would be invited in here because they didn't come in last week to take their medicine. There was none of them. I mean, and Broski Bear is okay to come in here because he comes in here all the time. He represents his team all the time. Now, even though they didn't win, that's why I'm kind of being a little bit more lenient with it. But Broski, you'll have way more success on this show when your team wins. When you come in, we're going to give you a little bit better because Sarah's the one that should be running her mouth. She should be in here doing touchdown dances, waving her ding-ding around, metaphorically. But the panic level doesn't seem too high through Lion fans right now. Kneecap biting. We're lucky that we escaped with Goff only having 2 picks. The defenders dropped 4 more, but they dropped them. One of the 2 picks shouldn't have been a pick because people should be doing their job. Good morning, Brent. I hate micromanaging to a point where we count all the almosts and oh man, we almost lost this game. We almost won this game because I remember 2008 where the Lions almost won 10 games and they went 0-16. So save the almost stuff. And let's stick to the facts here because that was almost a PI on that play where Goff threw one of his interceptions. So let's not play that game where we count the almosts too, because that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, I love the good medicine. There is good medicine in here. Why are we taking shots short of the sticks with no timeouts? That's a really good point right there. That's a really good point. I mean, they're taking shots. Did they shake Jared Goff during that game? I mean, sometimes it seems like defenses can get into Goff's head. When he has bad games, it usually is one that manifests throughout the whole game, and he did throw some almost picks that were in there, and they confused him with the defense. And what did you say, Mike? They made him throw to the outside, and that's not really his bag.
Yeah, they took the middle of the field away, a lot like the Rams did. We saw Laporta not have a huge game. We saw Jahmyr Gibbs over the middle, Amon-Ra St. Brown over the middle. Those things that have been our bread and butter for the last couple of years are not working in the first 2 games right now. I think it's got more to do with what Dan Campbell said about not getting in a flow, not getting in a rhythm. The play calling from Ben Johnson. One of your commenters here made a great comment about he's running when he's on passing plays. He's passing on running plays. It was very frustrating. However, my panic level, I'm only at a 1 or a 2. You lost a game to a good team. Some days are like that. There's some days are like that for you at your job, whatever you do out there. You're going to have days like that too. And I think let's hope that that's what it is, and we can just chalk it up to that. It's going to be a real big test the next 2 games on the road in Arizona and back at home on Monday night against Seattle. If the Lions come out 2-0, that's going to wipe away any fear or any doubt that you might have, and this team will be back on track. I do got to jump off early today, though. I apologize. Have a great day, villains. Don't forget, tonight at 7 p.m. Peace out.
Right on. That's Main Event Mike. Join him tonight for the Main Event Football Show. And we're probably going to be getting into more of the other games, into the lock picks tonight a little bit, doing that thing. And we appreciate you guys being on here too. Oh man, I'm not, man. I look at Packer fan that says that they were in here last week, but they were awful quiet in here. If there were any Packer fans in here last week, awful quiet all week, and now they're all chirping, and now we're throwing comments in here. Yeah. Laporta was only targeted 3 times all game. That's on Johnson. We traded Hunter for 3 players that we signed. They've shown up big for us: Van Ginkel, Cashman, and Grenard. Yeah, when it comes with the Minnesota Vikings, what I tell you, Sarah? What I tell you? I know that everybody was down at the beginning because they had a lot of bad injuries and and crazy things that happened to the Vikings. But Sam Darnold hasn't played for anybody. I mean, you had this guy's career. He's at the dumpster fire of the New York Jets, which hasn't been right. I don't know if they're going to be right even with Aaron Rodgers in there. Goes to Carolina, and that's, what that is. I mean, I don't know if they're ever going to get that fixed there. And then, out to San Francisco, backing up out there, and then he gets to play San Francisco. And I wonder, Sarah, if that had, his insight, because he did back up and, was in all of the practices last year for San Francisco. I wonder if Sam Darnold, had a little bit of insight on maybe how to beat this San Francisco defense. And the thing is there you go. I mean, you pick up a win, and wins are hard to come by in the NFL. And now the Vikings sit alone at the top with 3 1-1 teams, full game ahead of everybody after 2 games. So my flowers go out to the Minnesota Vikings. And I got to give, I mean, I hate doing it. I hate doing it because I'm the villain. And I don't want to, I don't like doing this. But the Green Bay Packers picking up a win with Josh Jacobs, behind Josh Jacobs. I mean, he ran the ball. They ran the ball. They won a game with Malik Willis only attempting 14 passes. They definitely used the run to set up the pass. They didn't take a lot of chances with Malik Willis out there, and he managed the game. Used his athletic ability. Six rushes for 41 yards. He was able to do a little bit of that run and pass. So I got to give Green Bay their flowers. Like, winning tough games. Winning tough games. This NFC North is going to be pretty tough. I think these games are going to be tough. Let's see what else we got in here. A-Dub and maybe Steve. That's all. I didn't see them in here last week. I didn't see them in the, and if they were in here, they were on watch only. That's fine. That's fine. But this is the way that we're going to handle this from week to week. Is when we come on here after losses, I'm not going to come on here and run my mouth about us losing. My panic level is low. My panic level is low because I think that the offensive line needs to be the dominating offensive line. It needs to be that dominating offensive line that it was. Now, if you guys thought that Goff had all day to pass, that's fine. I didn't see that. I watched the whole game. Now, there were times where he did have time to pass. It wasn't Goff's best game, for sure. But he did throw for 300 yards. You know, completed 60% of his passes. But he was skipping balls. He was skipping balls to people. You know, the fake punt was exciting. That led to nothing. You end up getting your way all the way through and then, you know, punt the ball anyway. So what are you going to do? But my panic level isn't very high yet. The Lions haven't lost 2 games in a row since the 2022 season. This is the team that bounces back. So, guys, we're fine. Detroit Sports Talk. We started 1-1 last year. I'm not worried. And we faced 2 playoff teams in a row. And the Arizona Cardinals and the Rams play in the same division. So there's that when it comes to the blowout, you know. In the division, you know, you're fighting people. The Lions are still winning the division, keep the NFC North, taking NFC North rivals. No panic level here. KOC has instilled confidence in Sam. "97 yards, don't keep over embellishing." I don't know what you mean by that. No easy games in the NFL. Don't sleep on any team. Steven, I'm sorry about your mom being in the hospital for 2 weeks. I am completely just trash talking on here, and that makes, I tell you what, I feel awful for calling you out in that way, and I'm just trash talking on here, man. I'm sorry. I wish that you would have said something like last week, and we could have said something last week. That makes me feel awful on my trash talking show. So please, don't think that any of this has anything to do with that. I am sorry, Steve. Best O-line and run games in the NFL. And you're dropping back Goff 55 times. I mean, I don't know if you guys are thinking that we were having a whole bunch of success running a football, man. It just wasn't. It wasn't happening in succession. We'd get a big run, and it would be 2 run stuffs. How are you doing, Russell? I watched the game pretty disappointed, especially in the red zone. I also blame the defense to point when we had the lead. Tampa came right back down the field and scored and made it look easy. Yeah, I mean, the timing on those weren't good. But the thing is, they only gave up 20 points in the game. I mean, I don't know if we're getting called dog walked, but they did go right back down and score, but they only gave up 20 points. And the defense gave the offense a chance to win twice in the last 2 minutes of the game. I would say that our defense outcoached their offense for Tampa Bay, because when you give your offense a chance to win, you can't put that on the defense. The defense gave 2 chances to win at the end. I'm like, to me, if I'm going to say if I'm encouraged about something, Ken, it was the defense. I can say that. I can say I'm encouraged about the defense. How could you not be encouraged about the defense? I know that we're disappointed in the loss, guys. I understand. That's why we call this Overreaction Monday, because it's Overreaction Monday when we win too. When we win, there's people in there, they love it. I mean, when the Lions, win their next game, there's going to be the feel good Super Bowl guys. We're all in that. Yeah. We're going to win every game. We're the best. And then we lose. Oh my God, fire everybody. Oh my God, they're insufficient at all these spots. He made all these mistakes. They're never going to win anything. It was like, man, you just went toe to toe with a playoff team from last year that you beat last year, and you lost 20-16. It sucks. I'm here to take my medicine, but I'm not going to overreact about it. There's no panic level in there. The defense is getting better, guys. If you can't see that, a trash secondary? You're going to say we have a trash secondary? Okay. Baker Mayfield threw for 185 yards. Sorry, I'm not going to overreact. A panic level isn't that high. Thanks, Steve. I don't want to feel like I'm attacking you because your mom was sick. And when I attack Packer fan, I mean, you do come in here and represent Packer fan. But Packer fan is as in general. And we pride ourselves by coming out on losses and taking our medicine. And I just can't say that for your fan base. That's all I'm saying. I mean, they like to talk when they lose or when they win games and, after they get on a win streak. Like, I decided to get out of the business because we ran all the Packer fans out of here last year when you guys were 2-5, and it was like you and, an occasional Robert. It was a ghost town in here, Packer fans, when there were 15, 20 of them on our trash talking show. And the thing is like, I need to be able to have fun in a trash talking show too. And if I'm trash talking with 3 teams that love to give it to me, I get it. We've never won anything. The team's been not good for 30 years. We had one good season. I mean, I get all that, and we'll take it. I love to take it, but we need to be able to dish it out too. I need to be able to have the satisfaction of when we go and get a win in Lambeau Field, that those same 16 guys are going to be there, and I get to give them the medicine. And that didn't happen. I came to give the medicine after that win in Lambeau, and it was a ghost town. It was a ghost town. The Packers got a couple wins, and then, they started creeping back in. And then after the Packers beat the Lions, all of those 16 guys they wanted to come in and talk trash on the show. And I'm like, I can't run it like this. I can't run it like this. We need to be fair to each other. So I'm going to come in here and take that medicine. Lions got beat. They got beat. I like Dan Campbell taking accountability for it. Because it's just football, guys. When you look at that whole game, I mean, Goff didn't suck the entire game. He did make some good plays, put them in a position to win the game at the end of the game. But the thing is, when you give points away, I love that he took accountability for it. Because everything else was just football. Interceptions happen. You run the ball, you pass the ball. They got into a fight. Forced them into some 3-and-outs. We got forced into some 3-and-outs. Hard fought game that came down to the last plays of the game. And the offense didn't make the plays. But Dan Campbell taking the accountability, because that 5-yard penalty cost them at least 3 points. They were down in there and they had it, and the 10-second runoff made it so they scored 0 points. How big would have those points been at the end of the game? The points would have been huge. Because you were in a hard-fought game. I believe it in my mind that if you didn't give them the points, that you would have won that game, because you would have been driving down after that punt and you would have had to kick a field goal. That's what you would have been trying to do, is set yourself up for a field goal. You wouldn't need to score the touchdown if you wouldn't have left the points on. That was an unforced error. That is why Dan Campbell took accountability, because everything else was football. There's an ebb and flow to every game. You have momentum for some of it. You don't have, because all of these guys are professional football players. 1 to 52, 1 to 69, dipping into practice squad. The good teams utilize all of them, because guys that move around, they get injured, hot and cold players, bunch of different things. But kudos to Dan for taking the accountability on that. It was really the only unforced error. Oops, we made a technical thing, Frank Ragnow with a false start. These are uncharacteristic mistakes. That's why I put more blame on. Okay, yeah, maybe they would have ran the ball better. Maybe Jared should have played better. But it's the unforced errors are the correctable things that you gotta put out there. And they had a miscommunication at the end of the half, and they sent the men onto the field for the field goal unit while the ball was being spiked with 7 seconds left. And it cost them the chance to kick a field goal. But yeah, broski, I'm not going to let you talk. I'm not going to let you talk, man. Your team lost. I did call Brian Branch. They had the first interception before the game last week. It's like, I've already proven this wrong, broski. Yes, you have a trash secondary that they have passing yards are due to Hutch generating pressure, but yes, your secondary is trash. It's not. I just proved to you that it's not. He gave up 185 yards passing. Mike Evans was 3 catches for 42 yards. And then it was all Chris Godwin after that. And really one big play. But outside of that, secondary was a hell of a lot better than it was last year. So, not overreacting yet. I picked the Lions to lose 3 to 4 games. Let me go way down here. In my eyes, your offensive coordinator made some terrible calls and that have resulted in bad calls on the field. Mark says that Tim Patrick is going to fit with this offense. There you go. Yeah, 1-1 also. Yes. Nah. Now Caleb Williams isn't improving. Caleb Williams looks like crap under pressure. He looks like a guy that wants to use his athletic ability and be the slickest guy out on the field, and that doesn't work in the NFL. He's going to have to learn how to run the offense. I mean, he's had probably the worst start in any. I mean, I think even Justin Fields played better than that. Yeah, you could really, but how could Caleb get any worse? Yeah, right now he's the worst quarterback in the league. I mean, really, if you had an average quarterback, you would have won that game. Yeah, got completely outplayed in that game by CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud looked better in every single way. I'm glad that he gave him a pat on the back at the end, you know, trying to help him feel a little bit better. But that's a pretty good Houston team, it looks like. But I'm the villain. I'm the villain. I'm here to take that medicine. I would say that Chris Godwin was probably the villain of the game for me. Who was the villain of the game for you? Chris Godwin, I would say, I don't know if I would really give it to Baker because Godwin on that one big play. I would say that Godwin was that guy. Or maybe somebody, or maybe just kind of like that defense. That defense. At Tampa Bay defense, you could tell that they're well coached. But the Lions lose 1-1. The Vikings sit alone on the top of the NFC North. I can see Broski's getting really, really mad in the comments. And so that's going to be my cue to end the show because I don't want to get anybody really, really mad. But you should talk trash. You'll have an open platform to be able to talk trash on this platform when your team wins. And congratulations to Sarah for being 2-0, sitting at top of the division, looking down at all of us. What are we going to do? Then another day. Another fight. Another day. It's the lion king of the jungle. It's the There's the Lion Villain Report. It's a good show. You should watch it. It's every morning at 10 a.m. You should watch it. It would be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life if you watch the show. Let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something, mean teen. What you gonna do when the lions run wild on you? That's what I want to be able to say. That's what I want to be able to say. I'm looking for the offensive line for the Lions this week in Arizona to have a bounce back game. And when I say that the Lions offensive line had a bad game, it's not bad. I'm not saying that they had a bad game by the standards of the whole NFL. But these guys are held to such an elite standard that you want to see them go out and really dominate the game. So that's what I want to see. That's my biggest takeaway. It's like when you get in these big, hard-nosed, hard-fought games, it's the offensive line you want to see. You know, you stand up for you. They needed to stand up for us at the end of that game. You know, open up them holes. You want to be able to protect Goff in that situation. You want to be able to hand the ball off and go right off guard and be able to push for 5-7 yards and get in these 2nd and 3s. That's where Goff is the best. 2nd and 3, 3rd and short. Put him in the spot where he can be play action. So it's the offensive line for me. You know, if you want to trash the secondary, go ahead, trash the secondary. It's 185 yards passing. It's certainly better than 2022 and 2023. It's definitely better than it was last year. Maybe that's what, maybe broski, maybe I had my standards set too low. Because I'm going, wow, this secondary's average. Yeah. It's not trash. Certainly better than last year's secondary. Certainly better than 2022. And they got a gel yet. You know, I mean, you're saying Caleb's only played 2 games. Well, the secondary's had only 2 games together. And it's already better than it was. I expect the secondary to progress. I mean, I didn't hear him call Carlton Davis's name. You know why? Because he didn't want to throw over there. That's the thing. It's like, you're going after the rookie. Okay. That's going to be good experience for the rookie. Terrion Arnold. You know, you can call him trash all you want, but keep going after the rookie and he keep on learning. He keeps on learning. And if you notice across the NFL, rookie cornerbacks do have trouble because the rule is different in college. You are allowed to do more of that hand fighting. And I don't know if you thought that call that he had that was questionable. that was coming right at us. We were there live. From our vantage point, it looked like Terrion pushed off. So, I mean, I'm going to call a good call. And it might have been ticky-tacky call, but it was call. It was the right call. But, yeah, you got to limit those mistakes. But this is the Lion Villain Report. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to bringing it down right here. I appreciate that you join the conversation. Broadcasting live into our Facebook page. Thank you for everybody that follows the Facebook page, likes this content, shares this content. The Lions Villain Squad YouTube page. We're going to broadcast. We're going to have a watch party for the Arizona game this week. Join us. I'll make a cool graphic for it too. Broadcasting into the Detroit Lions News Podcast from JC Sports Network. Thank you for allowing us to be in that space with you, with your 77,000 followers. Thank you, Joe Chat. Guilty by association. We're looking for the sponsorship. If you want us to talk good about your business on our programs, support our 8 shows per week, go into our network of 125,000 people. Hit us up in the message, and Mike will set up a meeting with you to discuss some prices. Faith, family, and then football. In that order. We use football to make memories. We use football to spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. And that'll be tonight for the Main Event Football Show. God bless. See you soon.
And yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet.
Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple.
Never give up and we running and maybe we just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity.